Office for the day, Pro Arte Alphen School, right here in Alphenpark. And I have the awesome team. That's going to be the first group that's doing their live broadcast on High Five Stereo. Over to you guys.
Good morning. I am Dalotando Chaka, the host of Yane Live Podcast. And today I'm with.
Nhlakanipho Lady Mokwena.
And Mokhalele Bethe.
And today we wanted to dive into topics that kind of relate to who we're going to become as adults once we're done with high school, seeing that we're all in matric and that time is coming to an end. And what we wanted to talk about is how our parents have shaped who we're going to become tomorrow. And while talking about this topic, we do want our parents to understand that we are speaking about this out of respect, and we understand that parenting is full of nuances and that everything, is different for every family. But it's important to have these discussions, for a better way forward. And so the first thing we wanted to dive into was how we were raised on the idea that all adults are demanded respect regardless of how they treat us. And, growing up, we kind of realized that kind of is a problem because it honestly allows a lot of adults to treat us the way they feel they want and to kind of allow for disrespect to enter the household, especially towards us as kids, And I feel like that just allows for a lot of problems, like facing manipulative adults and silencing kids when they are faced with problems. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's different for many households. My house specifically, my mom did teach me like every adult deserves respect, but if that respect is lost at some point, they should earn it. They should earn it back. But it is really what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same for every household, eh?
Definitely not.
You'll see with the relationships that you have with your elders. You'll see that sometimes you love this person so much that you treat them with the most respect. But sometimes you don't even know the stranger, but you're only going to treat them with this minimal, it's just minimal. And, greet them properly. You speak very formally, and when you speak that formal, there's not really much of a bond there.
Yes, definitely.
And I think we are social people, we are very social, and I think with every person we'd like to form some kind of bond with that other person. So yeah, it goes with how you have what your relationship is
Definitely
with that person. So yeah, the respect is hey, even though we're supposed to do it amongst every single person, it's not going to be the same.
It's
I
not.
think it's not going to be the same.
So how would you deal with a situation where you do give out respect to your adults and that respect is just not reciprocated, or you just feel undermined as a person?
For me, because like you say, we're social, we're different generation, and we talk, like we voice out. We are very different from like the previous generations. But for me, what they always taught me is that like, if somebody, an elder specifically says something and I don't like it and it's disrespectful or anything like that, my sister always told me, she's just like swallow your spit, like keep quiet and swallow your spit and just move on, because then you are being disrespectful. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it's questionable, because it's like, do I actually swallow my spit or do I say something? Because next time it's like it's not good. It's not a
Yeah,
good
I get
feeling.
it. Sometimes it is complicated
Definitely.
to, understand whether to speak up, because sometimes speaking up can create problems,
It
even
can.
more
yeah.
problems
More
for you
problems,
than
More problems.
staying silent.
But sometimes it can fix that person's viewpoint on
It's all
how it
dependent
is.
on who you're talking to and
To
how
exactly
open-minded they
they
are
are.
to hearing you. No, I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, it's a really big issue because now when I'm faced with such situations, I usually just leave the room.
Yes.
Hey, I can get very very irritated. So knowing that I do not want to cause problems, I just leave the room. I'd excuse myself, and
No,
then
I get it.
Yes.
I go speak to that person I trust, and then I'd be venting out to them, or hey, this person made me irritated.
Exactly. Definitely.
And
Yes.
I think,
Because we need to confide, hey?
yeah.
Confiding is a really essential part of, navigating our emotions.
Yes.
Because
Because
then,
when you keep it in,
keep it
it
in.
bottles up, and then tomorrow you then become disrespectful
Yeah.
unintentionally. Yes. So.
We're back, and I am Mohalelebete with.
Nhlakanipho Mokoena.
And Ndalo Thando Xolo Chaka.
And I just we're talking about how parents shape who we become, and I think our relationships, we have with our parents, while they change over time, they're so crucial to our development, and even though when they don't, they might not say the same, and I
And they never
think
do.
looking back, how I'm an amateur musician, by the way, and in my almost 10 years of playing music, it's amazing to believe that I've come so far, and I don't think I'd be able uh, to make it this far without my parents being involved. And I think it's the same with Ndalo and Ntlaga, and I think you all have some
Qualities.
story to describe your experience with what you do and what you love.
Yeah, I think it's understanding the importance of our parents being there, not just physically, but emotionally as well, really taking the time to understand who we are, to understand who we want to become, and to also understand that who I am today is not going to be the same person that I am tomorrow. We're
Because
always,
we grow.
yes, we grow. Sorry, yes, we grow. And I feel like a lot of parents think that all they have to do when raising a child is just provide them a roof over their
Yes, a
head,
roof over
provide
head,
them with
food.
food, and
Education.
education, and then they're sorted. But they don't understand that you're raising a human being. You're raising a human being with emotions,
Yes.
with complicated feelings, and those feelings, those emotions, those dreams, those aspirations need to be understood. They need to be supported. And, you know, that's the way, that's the best way to help your child become the best person they are.
Like you said, like parents being there emotionally, it's important because when in a household like your parents are there, you grow up with confidence. It grows with you, and you go on to do like so much good things because you have support behind you. So it's really important for the emotion part to also be there, not just physically, because physically you can be there, that's okay. Some not physically, but at most physically you can be there. And emotionally it's important because at the end you grow up with confidence, and then when you're not there, it like you become self-conscious and you're
Yeah.
like shy and you like
There's a lot of
low.
problems that
Yes,
come
and then
about.
like you don't know how to like go through life because you don't feel like nobody, you feel like nobody has been there for you like for the longest time from childhood. And
Yeah, it can't, you can't say it enough that parental involvement is so important. Even
Very.
if it's just being at a soccer match,
Literally.
just
Yes,
being
a show.
or show.
Like tomorrow we have the valediction.
Valediction,
Just
yeah.
for them to
Just-
be
just
here,
for
like
them
it's
to
good
be
to if you climb on the stage and you see your mom in the crowd. That's a very good feeling. Like
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Not being there, it leads to so many problems that we have already seen amongst our peers,
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
some of our peers have the fear of being abandoned. Some of
Abandonment.
them, they actually go down such dark paths and actually start going into substance abuse because they just don't feel like anybody's there
presence,
for them,
yes.
they don't feel loved by the
Yes.
people who are supposed to love them.
Yes.
And that honestly just it contributes to the ridiculous rates of anxiety and depressions that is amongst our
Our
peers
youth
and
right
our
now,
youth,
like this generation, it has to be the highest.
and
I
it's
believe.
so honestly, yes, emotional presence as a parent is
It's very important.
and reassuring your child that I'm here and I love you. Saying I love you is so nice.
It is. It's good
Hearing
from
that
your
from your
parents.
parents is so
I
nice.
appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate
like that's
you.
so good because
and you're doing well.
as you in school, you go through a lot with friends, with teachers and everything. Like just to go home, but like just because you're washing the dishes and your mom's like, I appreciate you. That's a good feeling because
That's
after a long day at school,
you feel
guys,
seen.
Exactly.
You feel
You
seen.
feel like okay, I'm enough. I'm
And
there.
it becomes less about that seeking that external validation
Yes.
because you've got someone behind you.
And if you don't, then you start seeking it from
start seeing
friends.
from other people
And
who
even
might not
worse,
have
and
your best
boys
interest.
as a girl,
Adults
as you
and-
know, and
Yeah.
it doesn't usually lead to the right path.
And it doesn't. Hey?
But also like parents being there, it goes on with manners.
Yeah.
Like you notice like your friends, your peers, the youth and everything, you're like, this person manners I don't see properly. But when you grew up with parents that like they reprimanded you when you did wrong, you know how to treat people further, and that plays on like your parents were in your life, and then it shows that they were in your life and they taught you that this is how you treat people, this is how you go through life, and you have a support system behind you.
Yeah, when you're loved, you know how to love.
Exactly.
And that's very
Ooh,
important.
That's a good one.
Hey?
And
Yes.
in those moments where you pursue your dreams, because at the end of the day, even as a parent, just consider your child's dreams, your child's interests, those talents, that little potential, because that potential can become an interest, it can become an ability at some point.
And it can become
And
a career.
it can become their career. They can become really successful in life, and that can only be done if the parent is actually in their life, not overbearing.
Yes, there's a limit.
Think about a flower. Think about a flower. I mean, a flower can only bloom when there's sunlight, but now when there's a helicopter flying around blocking the sun, I mean,
It doesn't grow.
it can't grow.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just that just being there, present, showing them, giving them advice that, hey, you've got this, you have this ahead of you. Why
Yes.
don't you consider it at least? Because it can become something really good.
Even though you guys don't have like a lot of resources at home, like just your parents being there, you don't always worry about money and other problems and stuff like that, because you
That
tell yourself that
investment,
exactly I can be who I am because my mom, my dad, my
They
family,
believe
they
in
believe
me.
in me.
They believe in
We
me.
don't really
Yeah.
need the money, we don't really need like the resources, and I can make it because like I have
They
people behind me
they have-
rooting for
yeah,
me.
their support.
High Five radio station. We are back at Pro Arte, and my name is Ntlagani Naledi Mukwena.
I am Dalo Tandrolo Chaka.
And I am Mokhalel Kagiso Lebete.
And we are going to continue the topic of parenting. And in my case here, I want to talk about the appreciation of parents, necessarily because I feel like as children, it happens that we blame our parents for most stuff, because I mean they're older than us and they do give us advice. They always on us that no, I'm the parent, I've been here, I can do this and that and that. But
It's their first life. Though.
yes, it's their first
Yeah.
life as well, and that's something I have kept in mind with my mother, living with her and everything. Like, we have differences all the time. We argue all the time and everything. But then at the end of the day, you kind of think about it and you're like, she's giving me this advice because she's been here and she passed and she doesn't want me to go through the same struggles she went to. But also, it's her first life. It's her first life. She has feelings, she has dreams, she has everything. And she did sacrifice some of those dreams for us as my parent and everything like that. So, yeah, what do you think? The
I know I completely agree with you, sometimes, I think parents think like we don't understand where they come from, which, trust me, we do. We see you, we appreciate you all the time, and we genuinely understand. I mean, that's why we're having this discussion today, right? I mean, if we didn't understand where our parents were coming from, we wouldn't decide to speak about this today. And I feel like we also understand that the way they raise us has a lot to do with how they were raised as
exactly,
well.
yes.
True.
Certain traditions, certain ways of discipline were brought from their parents, and they've decided to bring that into raising us.
Yeah. We, for me, in my experience, it's really just a lot of thanks from my side, because I
Definitely.
always, even I remember my father actually at some point when he was taking me, my two sisters, to like various places like around Pretoria North. At some point my dad was like, yo, I know, I gotta commend single parents, because hey, this
It's a
whole
lot.
thing of driving them around to soccer matches, to,
Music.
extra classes, to music, to all these places, just investing in them, it's a really big achievement. And, investing in your child's future, we're just thankful for it, because,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't make it far without their parents.
Yes,
They
like
don't, they don't.
parents being involved in school. I think many people take that for granted. Just for your mom to ask you like, "How was your day at school?" That's good.
That's
Like that's
amazing.
good, because even if I had a bad day, even if I just had a normal day, I'm like, it's fine. We did this, we did that, and everything. But her involvement with our school, we are basically an art school. I'm doing hospitality, and recently I had a restaurant happening, and my parents showed up. They showed up every year from grade 10 to my restaurants. They showed up, and it's a good thing, because now the skill that I'm learning here at school, that I know they paying for it. It's part of my education and everything. It means a lot that they show up and they see what I'm doing.
And I think there's also just
Pardon?
importance in understanding that parents aren't only the people who brought you into the world. I mean, there are a lot of circumstances where kids grow up without their mothers, without their
Yeah,
fathers,
that's
and,
true.
they're raised by their grandmothers, they're raised by their aunts. Those people are their parents. Those people who love and are there for them and support them, those are their parents. And we would just like them to know that we see you, we appreciate you, and we love you. You are there for that child when their actual parents
Oh,
couldn't
yes,
be.
couldn't be there.
Mm.
Yeah. We are not just raised by our parents.
Takes a
We are
village.
also,
Takes
Takes
a
a
it
village.
village.
takes a village to raise a child. We we are shaped by our community. So I think it's really parental involvement, just parents in general. We really value the relationships we have with our parents, and I think it's something that we should always consider
Yes.
every time we consider our parents.
Whatever you're going through now, it will end. Everything does come to an end. Just everything will be fine. Look towards the future, look towards happiness. Um, choose yourself, matrix. You're about to enter a very serious time of your life with finals. Work hard, but choose yourself as well.
Go.
Um, what I want to say is that you should embrace those challenges that you face. You are shaped by your challenges. Those challenges that you face, they build you into a more stronger person. And you will overcome them. And when you overcome them, you'll come out more stronger than ever. So just don't give up. Don't give up. Embrace those challenges. You overcome them.
Yes, and for me, my thing is, I would say, trust in the Lord. He's always there to confide in. He's always there to listen and everything. And there's a verse that I like where it says, "He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust." So I think you should just trust the Lord. He's there for you. You are at the right place at the right time all the time, and He will just He'll be with you as time goes and take you where you need to be. So yeah, trust the Lord and just never give up.
En nou dat jy van die onderwyseres hier is. So she's actually the school counselor. Her name is Natasha. Natasha, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Very nice. Well, I actually had to bribe you to get you behind the microphone. Isn't that so?
Yeah, I actually just came to take a photo of the setup for our school Facebook, and then now here I am sitting in front of you.
Oh, this is dangerous. This is a danger zone.
Yeah.
They should put up a signboard and say danger zone.
Next time I'll know.
Natasha, tell me, what did the children call you?
They call me by my name. It's a different type of relationship that we have compared to your teacher. So I'm not a Mrs. or a ma'am, or if I say to them, if you would prefer out of respect, you call me Ma'am Natasha. My surname is in any case way too difficult for them to pronounce.
I'm not going to try and pronounce
Yeah,
it.
so they...
How do you pronounce it, by the way?
Kraljevic Scrimger.
Okay, I'm not going to try and repeat it, but anyway, Natasha is easy enough.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. Okay, I'd like to know, a school counselor, dis 'n mondvol. What do you actually do? Wat doen jy?
Ek dra verskillende hoede hierso, but my main function is obviously providing counseling to our learners, one-on-one sessions, often group sessions. And what I explain to the learners is that I am here to try and make your high school journey a little bit more smoother.
I love it.
Yeah, because being a teenager in today's world is challenging, and I think a lot of parents don't understand that. And as you heard just now, the parental involvement is not that great. But also I try and give them a different perspective, so we don't just wallow in their emotion. We try and look at it from different angles and to try and be grateful and appreciate as well. So I'm here to provide emotional, social, and as well as economic support as far as possible. And then Ms. van Heerden and I also provide career guidance as well as subject choice guidance as well, so that we can just ensure that our learners are making informed decisions about their futures as well.
Ms. van Heerden is the one that ran away just now. Okay.
Yes.
I want to know, but as a school like Pro Arte, that's mainly music and academically driven as well. But
Yes.
I always thought that it'll be a different, easier school. The students here will also be more comfortable than the average school. So you also have your normal inverted commas problems here.
Yes. So we still faced with the same challenges as the other schools.
Yeah.
What I can say, the nice part about our learners, they are very open for counseling, and they are quite in touch with their emotions and their feelings as
wow,
well.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so if I compare the school where I was previously, you would sometimes have to, it was like pulling teeth. It was difficult to get information out of them, and they just come and they can tell me straight away, this is the issue, and within one session I already know what is the problem, and we work on that.
That's amazing. So is that a full-time job, or are you a teacher as well?
No, so I'm full-time, just doing, well, not just that. Like I said, I wear different hats as well, but it's not relevant for today.
Okay.
The other initiative that I have started, so 2 of the learners that were sitting here with you just now are peer counselors as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
I select a group. They go through a selection process and they get trained in basic counseling skills so that they are my eyes and ears out on the playground in a way, because I can't be everywhere. And sometimes learners relate better with a peer, and then serious matters also get reported then to me.
That's amazing. So we're having a very interesting discussion with Natasha, and she's the school counsellor now. Time is 9:58. High Five Stereo from Pro Arte in Alphenpark in Pretoria. How often, Natasha, does it happen that when one of the students come and talk to you, you realize that this is actually a parent problem and not a student problem? How do you handle that?
Okay, so it happens quite a lot. Most of everyone's problems
Definitely, yeah.
do start by your family of origin. And I say family of origin because maybe you were adopted and we have blended families and whatever the case is. So I work from that and I try and first work with the learner to first figure out, is it normal? Because we get normal and then we get not
Slightly different.
yes
normal. Yeah,
yes
yeah,
a bit different.
Yeah.
And some of the learners can also exaggerate, and hormones also come into play and it becomes a bit complicated. But I do involve parents sometimes, if the learner allows it, with their permission, to provide some parental guidance as well, because like I always say, and I'm a mom as well, your child does not get born with a manual.
No,
So it's not easy for a parent as well. And I try and make learners understand that as well, that sometimes your parent is also just trying their best. And sometimes it could be miscommunication. So I try and give them guidance regarding that. So maybe come from your side and approach your parents and set up, because a lot of them say they don't get to spend time together.
right, yeah.
And I mean, we all know we live a rushed life. So I always propose and I say, chat to your parents and say, I know your time is valuable. Can we schedule once a month just a date together? And if it's a serious situation, then I convince them that I need to get parents involved.
That's amazing. Well, I'm an ex-lecturer at the University of Pretoria.
Okay.
And I used to lecture behavioral sciences.
Oh, wow.
And I also had consulting rooms for close on to 14 years. But working with schools as well, we did evenings of congratulations.
Okay, wow.
Where we invited parents, and sometimes but even some of the hard cases. And with the children as well, we created a scenario where the children can congratulate the parents for what they've done in my lives, and giving them little gifts and so on.
Oh, that's nice.
And that built an amazing relationship as well with the
Yes.
parents and the school and the students. And it's something different, but I like doing things differently.
Yes.
That's why sitting outside in the Lapa or the radio station, that's different,
Very much
So
so.
it's great. So Natasha, it's amazing as a school counsellor. It's a hard work. It's a hard job on your shoulders as well. And why did you? This is a difficult question to answer, and I'm not going to give you scoring points on
Okay.
that. But what made you decide to study? Obviously, it's psychology, and
Yes.
why?
Yes. I think it started at a very young age, before I even knew what psychology was. I have an older brother who had his challenges and went to a psychologist, and I sat outside with my mom in reception being like, where is he? What is he doing?
Yeah, what they do, what they're asking you.
Yes, and I was like, oh, mommy, please, I need to go as well, not knowing what it was about.
It's amazing.
And throughout my life, I've just had, people, I've obviously got a natural inclination towards it. People would come to me and seek guidance. I had an interest in the medical profession, actually.
Wow.
And then I can't handle blood and gore, and I thought, okay, that's not going to work for me. And the human behavior and the brain is fascinating. So that's basically why I ventured into that.
What you believe in, and what you dream and what you believe you can achieve.
Yes.
And that's what the students this morning also spoke about it. So dreams are very important, and
Yes.
wanting to become something. Not just
Yes.
thinking I want to, but to know that I want to.
Yes.
And that's great. Natasha, I'm going to put you on the hot spot as well with a message of hope for our listeners, please. Because High Five Stereo, the slogan is Airwaves of Hope.
Okay.
And we try and bring, we don't try, we're very blessed to be able to bring hope to many people through the airwaves.
I know it might be cliched, but it's something that I turn towards is that if we look in nature, and it's relevant today as well, is that for us to be beautiful, we need to have rain and a thunderstorm. I mean, look today, the grass is already looking greener. So I do believe you need to go through rain and thunderstorms to experience that rainbow at the end and to become this beautiful person. So just hold on to the fact that, and it doesn't rain forever, that it does pass.
I love it. I really love it. You know, a soft drizzle and a light rain fills your drains with rubbish and all these kind of things. It needs a hard storm, a gush of water to clean a drain. So we do need that in our lives as
and
well.
it's character building. That's what I always say. And like I said, it does pass. Just know it does go, it does pass.
Natasha, thank you for living what you believe in and playing out your role as the counselor here in Pro Arte. And I can sense that there's an essence of faithfulness, not truthfulness. There's a difference between truthfulness and faithfulness, but I can sense the essence of faithfulness, living out what you believe in and portraying your love towards the students you work with. God bless for the work that you do.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Nou ja, daai het jy dit nou lekker gesels met Natasha and she's a school counselor here at Pro Arte. Tyd nou 4 minute oor 10. Ek dink is genoeg van my. Kom ons luister eers na And I love it. We really had a great conversation this morning with the first team. And now we got the second team here. I'm going to ask you each one by one. Just introduce yourself and then the airwaves are yours.
Good morning, listeners. Coming to you live from the School of Specialization Pro Arte Alphenpark. I am Khomozo Angela Mogotsi, aka DJ Peaches. And I'm here with...
You're here with Tiamiso Destiny Mpahlele and...
Gabetso Caitlin Khadima, also known as Kiki.
All right. This high school journey has been one emotional roller coaster and has been jam-packed with a bunch of lessons. And a lot of these were life-changing lessons. And we learned things the hard way, I must say. So we're here and we decided to share our experiences so that you don't struggle. We're here as your big sisters. We're going to give you advice on how to navigate your high school journey. So, first things first, Kiki, what is your opinion on dating in high school?
Wow. Well, there is a lot one can say about dating in high school. But my biggest thing is that I feel at this age, we're not really emotionally mature and ready for dating. I mean, half of us don't even understand why we want to get into a relationship. We just do it because, well, you know.
Everyone else is doing it.
Exactly.
You know? Yes.
So I feel as much as it can be a good thing where you can get a support system and it can be life-changing and it can help you grow, it is something that a lot of us do incorrectly because we are rushing into it and we don't actually understand what we're doing.
Therefore making it detrimental.
Yes.
Rather than progressive. I hear it.
True,
I hear it.
So I feel like as a teenager going into a relationship, we have to be so cautious about, firstly, the type of people we're getting into relationships with. Is this a person who's going to help you grow as a person, or is it someone who's going to, you know, set you back in life?
Yes.
I mean, dating isn't supposed to be a distraction. I think that's
It's not
something
supposed to be a chore.
Exactly. It is
Yes.
something that we don't understand. I'm supposed to be able to study with my person. I'm supposed to be able to do school things with whoever I'm dating. And it has become such a distraction for people where, you know, marks are dropping and relationships with our friends are also in turmoil. So it's quite an iffy thing for me. Hey?
What is your opinion, Destiny?
I think social media has a lot of influence on dating in high school. They put up... No. People are influenced by what other people post on social media. So they start comparing themselves and their relationships based on what they see.
On
And what they
socials,
see is not what they think could be happening. You know?
It's not real.
Yes.
It's not real. It's very
You know, I could post something positive and maybe someone else who's viewing the post could look at it as, why am I not getting the same things as her? Why am I not?
Her
why
life
am
is
I?
so perfect.
Yes.
Because you only portray the good in your life. Who would want to post the negatives happening in their lives? Especially in relationships. We all want to put it out there that we are happily in love. We are happily, we're having the best times with this person. You're not going to post that argument that you had a couple of days ago, because why would you do that? You know?
I also believe that, you know, going back to the fact that we don't really understand relationships, is that, you know, I want to post content of me with my person there and there and there, and we don't actually look at the emotional aspect of dating. We are so into the physical of it, you know, kissing and touching and all of that, and that could actually lead us to such risky and dangerous behaviors. It is so scary, because either my partner is pressuring me to do something, or I feel, well, this is what happens in relationships, because I mean, I don't know what happens in relationships. We're looking at movies and social media for guidance, when none of it is real, you know. So I feel like my advice to anyone thinking to get into a relationship, well, as a teenager, ask for advice.
Yes.
Ask a big sister or a teacher.
Be open.
Be open, because if you are trying to do this on your own, you're gonna crash.
Exactly, because let's say, for instance, you are dating someone and it does come to an end. You have kept quiet about this whole thing because you're not allowed to be dating to, let's say you're not allowed to be dating to begin with. You do not have a support system to help you go through that breakup. You're dealing with this breakup all on your own. You do not have family who has had experience in this thing. You're dealing with it all on your own, and you're expecting to get through this by yourself. That's when the marks start declining, your social life starts dying down, because you do not have the energy to pour into other people, because you poured so much into a relationship without having poured into yourself first to begin with. So many things go into this that people don't understand. That's why I encourage dating after your frontal lobe has developed, because what are you doing? You're still a kid. You're still a kid.
True. Yeah. So yeah, the dating thing is, as you said, frontal lobe. Let's wait for that to develop, because it is so tricky. It is so tricky, and a lot of times, even I thought I knew what I was doing, and then half of the time I'm like, whoa.
You actually have no idea.
Yeah, there's still
But
so much to
remember
figure
that
out.
most of it is a learning experience.
It is. Fair enough.
You do things and you learn from them. You do it again, but you do it right this time.
Yeah. But also, keep in mind, another thing that people forget when going into a relationship is that you're not alone. You're now not only dealing with your own emotions as an individual, you're dealing with your partner's emotions. And as teenagers, there's a lot of emotions involved in this whole thing. So imagine having to deal with trying to understand your own emotions, constantly being confused by your own, and on top of that, putting the weight of someone else's emotions on top of you, on top of all the pressures of high school. Let's say you're in matric, prelims, finals. This is the last time you're getting to do this.
True.
So do you really want to get yourself involved in something like a relationship? You could wait. You really could.
Radio High Five Stereo, Chris this side of the microphone, and we're having a lot of fun at Arte in Alphenpark, and having the students talking about different kinds of topics about parenthood and how to be a child, live it out, and doing the best. Time now is 20 minutes past 10. Chris this side of the microphone, I'm going to be your captain between the waves all the way until well after 11 o'clock. Back to the team.
Okay, guys. So let's talk about the influence of social media on teens.
So, I think we look at social media in such a bad way many times that we forget how it helps us as well. It is a positive thing. Like, most of the research projects we get for school, we use social media platforms. So yeah.
I mean, we are the generation that has not known life without social media. So it's kind of hard to discard it and see it in just a negative light. It has positively influenced us all the time.
Yeah.
Things that, in terms of school, in terms of having easy access to information. We don't have to worry about books. Yes,
Yes.
we do read. We have books on our phones, you know. It makes
Easier.
it makes the life easier. It does. We don't have to carry all those books in our bags, you know. It kind of hurts our backs.
I feel like also it is such a big source of communication.
True.
I mean,
true.
I hate leaving the house. I really hate leaving the house. And now I'm able to like chat with my friends and still communicate with people even though I'm
talk
in
to
my
people all the
room.
way overseas.
Exactly. I actually just got a friend in France, and I'm learning so much about the French culture, and it's actually so cool.
It's amazing.
And I mean, I write poetry like sometime in my free time, and I get such creative inspiration from social media. It is so amazing how I can see other people's stories through poetry and get inspiration, and how people are able to share their experiences.
You're well informed of life
Exactly.
outside of your environment.
Exactly. I mean, we know about issues that are happening in Gaza and, you know,
Things
all
we
over
would
the
not
world.
have been aware of if social
Without-
media didn't exist.
Exactly. So I feel like social media, if used correctly, can be such an amazing tool and can really help us and has helped us so much with growth, with information, with creative expression. And it has just, it's a good tool.
It is.
honestly.
It is. A lot of negativity has been shared on social media. We get why. We get why. We see how it has negatively influenced us as teenagers in terms of increasing peer pressure. What we see what happens in schools because of the cyberbullying. The cyberbullying that happens because, for example, matric dance. Matric dance, we don't talk about it enough. How it has grown to become a popularity contest. It has become a beauty competition. Everyone is trying to get the most expensive dress. I mean, 100K for a dress.
That's crazy.
And you see this, and your parents, obviously, we're not all the same. We don't all have the same backgrounds. But you see this dress and you really want it because that's what's going on. The glitz, the glam, looking as if you're going to Met Gala, but you're 18.
Exactly.
The pressure of not meeting the standards of
Exactly.
other people.
The cars, the pressure of cars, the pressure of all that. That is all because of social media. We see what these celebrities wear to the Met Gala. We want to look like them.
But also remember, those celebrities could be financially stable for those things. They could be in
Exactly.
their 30s.
They're
and we're
old.
just
They have jobs.
teens
Exactly.
They've
comparing
worked
ourselves.
hard.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I also had like a time in my life where I was looking at social media influencers and I felt like I did not have my life together because, you know, this influencer's waking up at 4, she's going to the gym, she's eating oats and berries in the morning, meal prepping. And I'm like, why am I not doing this? Until my sister was like, you know, this person is 20, this person is 30, this person has resources, this person has time. And I was like, wow, we are comparing ourselves to literal adults and we are trying to live their lifestyle, which creates so much pressure. I mean, I was killing myself trying to wake up in the morning, go to the gym, and
Before
I still
school.
had homework and I had all these extracurricular activities. And it's just like, we are trying to emulate people who are
Way above us.
way above our levels, and
Way.
it creates such a dangerous precedent because I mean, as I said, we're kids, and even with adult behaviors, certain things like drinking and smoking is okay for someone who's in their 20s because they are old enough and mature enough to know how to drink responsibly and not put themselves in risky positions. And now I think, oh, okay, so
Since
we're in
they're
the club
doing
now,
it, why
we're
not?
drinking. So now I want to be in the club and I'm drinking and I'm 18 and I don't even know how to get myself home.
Exactly. But don't you think this stems from that in-betweenness of parents treating you like an adult when they want to, but also treating you like a child?
Expecting you to act like an adult,
Exactly.
yet they treat you like a child.
Exactly.
It's confusing.
It is confusing. I feel like as a teenager, as much as we are in a very confusing state in our lives, and man, there's a lot we can blame on our parents. I won't lie.
True.
I can sit here and we can talk for hours about how our
yeah,
parents did wrong.
Definitely.
at what point do we take the responsibility? You know,
Fair enough.
I'm smart enough to know that a person who's flat drunk on the street, that isn't a good life choice. And I can't say, well, since he's doing it, let me follow that. You understand? Where do we take the responsibility? How do I look at where I am today and where I want to be in the future? Because if I want to be a successful businesswoman, I can't be drinking and smoking
Exactly.
and
You have
doing
to
all
put in
this
the
thing
work now. It starts now.
I have to put the work now.
That's why subjects such as LO are important.
True.
I mean, how many times have you been learning about peer pressure and substance abuse? We know
we've
what's
been
right.
learning about it, yet
yes.
people still fall into that pressure.
And
It's
they blame
crazy.
other people.
Thanks ever so much to CMH, Kempster Ford and Hatfield for making this broadcast possible. If you want to phone them, their telephone number is 012 423 4300. And that's CMH, Kempster Ford in Hatfield. Best prices, best quality, best service all year, all day round. Now back to the ladies again. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
Let's look at how our behaviors now and the things we do influence or shape the adults we become.
Oh, I love this one. I feel like a lot of times we think that we, like, as much as we're still kids, we sometimes tend to forget how close we are to adulthood and how
Very
our
true.
choices now will affect
The
where
people
we are
we
going to
become.
be in the future. Because, I mean, I see a lot of our peers just too relaxed. They are so relaxed about life, and not that I want to put pressure on everyone to think about jobs and everything now, but it's just like we tend to forget how important our choices are in who we're going to become.
Yes, our choices now.
Yes.
And
So
it's important to actually think of what you want in life, the future, what your future looks
So that
like.
you can start taking the baby steps. I don't know if you guys know the
Yes.
book Atomic Habits,
Yes.
but it speaks about how every little step plays a big role in what happens in the future,
Yes.
exactly.
in getting to your goal.
I mean, yeah, I honestly, it's so sad to see how things like substance abuse and, you know, messing around has been normalized in our society. I mean, I know people who go to their exams high
Yes.
and drunk.
Yes.
And it's like, how is this going to affect you 10 years down the line?
Exactly.
And it is so sad. I mean, even with boys at our school, it is so sad to see how our guys at our school, or not just our school, you know,
In
teenage
general.
boys in general, how they are perpetuating misogynistic views and how things like how they speak about women.
Exactly.
It is actually so scary. And to think that these people are going to be our future businessmen, our future principals, fathers, and it's so important that we educate them now because the things that they are saying and the behaviors they're perpetuating are actually struggles that we are dealing with adults now.
Yes.
Especially in South Africa where we are struggling with gender-based violence.
Yes.
I think that for other people to respect other people, they should master self-respect.
Yes.
That plays a big role on how they view other people and how they treat other people. Self-respect is very important for one to move with life.
I think another thing that a lot of teens use to not become responsible people and to not learn self-respect and to let go of all these unacceptable behaviors such as, you know, substance abuse and whatnot is the fact that they're still young.
True.
Constantly when you tell someone, dude, I don't think you should be doing that. No, I'm young. I still have time. Oh, no, I'm young.
They don't.
You really don't have time. You really
Anything
don't
can
have time.
happen.
Anything can happen. I mean, that's why teenage pregnancy is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I want to say opportunities can be missed because you
Literally.
are, you know, partying and everything. I mean, there are so many times when acting agencies, for example, have come to our school and scouted young artists. And how can I audition if I'm high or drunk or busy or bunking school? You understand? So we can miss so many opportunities. And as much as we are young, yes, enjoy your youth, but be responsible and think about how your actions will shape who you're going to be tomorrow.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't have to drink and smoke to have fun. We can go to picnics.
You know?
We can
Wholesome things.
There
Wholesome
are
things.
so many things. There's pottery. There's just so many
You
things
can
that
learn
one
a
can
new
do.
hobby, guys.
Exactly.
We have so many
Oh,
outlets. We could
hobbies.
be doing dance. You could be doing music. We have so many outlets. Just because you're in music doesn't mean you don't have to do dance in your spare
Exactly.
time. Rather
Exactly.
do that. Leave the drugs alone.
And also focusing on hobbies can shift your perspective, can
Very
shift
much.
what you do. Like, for example, if you are into substance abuse or whatever and you focus on a hobby, it could be a way of rehabilitation.
Yes.
Because they say idle hands are the devil's tools.
Exactly.
I mean, if I'm bored and I have nothing to do, it is so easy for me to fall into the wrong crowd, and it is so easy for me to do the wrong things. And one thing I've noticed with hobbies and the importance of them, well, with me, it is writing poetry, and I crochet sometimes. It keeps me sane.
It does.
When
It
the
gives you a
world-
sense of purpose.
Exactly. When the world is so loud and with pressures of matric and where am I going to apply,
A
when
stress
everything is
reliever.
just so crazy, and I sit down and I crochet, everything just disappears. So it is so important for your mental health as well.
is
to
very
find
important.
an
Everyone
outlet.
needs a stress reliever, and some
True.
people tend to
Exactly.
fall onto the wrong thing as a stress reliever.
Yes.
So having hobbies could be actually great.
Could save
Could
us.
even start a career.
I was telling my dance teacher one Saturday, the Montoya Spanish Dance Academy, that she was basically saying, oh, she's surprised that I'm still dancing even though finals are coming up. And I told him, like, if I do not do this, I will go crazy. And one thing about that dance academy is that teacher gives you so many opportunities. If I wanted to, I could literally become a choreographer because of the opportunities that this hobbies has given me.
Exactly.
It could be my career. I could make a living out of it.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't notice that if I
Head.
was constantly distracted and if I was in the wrong crowds.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So that is actually so important. And also, I know we're done with the topic of social media, but I have to say that we also need to look at the celebrities and the influencers that we are emulating.
Yes.
It is so important because they also shape the people that we are going to become. I
Very
mean,
true.
role models are so important.
Very true.
I feel like, we think about the speeches they made us do in school of our role models, and we don't realize how actually important it is.
Yes, it's
Because I
extremely
actually
important.
watched a video on TikTok where this lady was talking about how 2000s, well, our generation, don't have wholesome representation in the media.
Very much.
Remember
we
when
had
we'd watch shows like That's So Raven?
And
they had a more realistic view on teenagers'
Children.
lives.
Yes,
Children.
exactly.
and now we have, Ice Spice and Cardi
yeah.
B.
Megan Thee Stallion.
And look, there are amazing women and amazing artists. However, their content is not for us.
It's really
and their
not.
lifestyle is not for kids. And if I am already pushing for that lifestyle at 18 years old, where am I going to be when I'm 20?
Exactly.
Where am I going to be when I'm 30? Am I going to be when I'm 30? So it is so important to look at
Who you choose.
to be. Decide who you want to be now and take the baby steps towards becoming that person.
And be careful of the people you choose to emulate.
Exactly, because that is
I also
such a
want
big
to
factor.
add that friendships
Yes.
can have a huge influence
Yes.
on
Yes.
who you are, how you behave, and who you become.
True.
There are many friendships that are very toxic and they badly influence you and your decision making.
Yeah.
What do you guys think on that?
Very much, because also, as much as you must be careful of who you choose to emulate, you have to be careful of who your friends choose to emulate, because their behaviors will be a
Influence
reflection
you.
of that,
True.
right?
As well as
So-
who you choose to associate yourself with.
Exactly. So if your friends are out here choosing to look at Ice Spice as their role model, what do you think is going to happen to you?
Exactly. Staying on the topic of, what type of adults you want to be when you grow up, I feel like the only way to ensure that you become who you want to be is to learn how to say no.
Definitely.
Assertiveness.
Boundaries.
Let's learn how to say
Boundaries.
no, learn when to walk away, because I have been in so many situations and in so many friend groups where I realized, wow, these people don't resonate with who I want to become. These people do not align with my vision, but I just stayed because I didn't know how to leave. I
Yes.
didn't know how to say no. I found myself going to events that I didn't want to be at, events that I wouldn't go to myself. So another thing I feel is so important is to have boundaries and to
Yes.
learn to say no
Definitely.
unapologetically.
Also understanding who you are
Yes.
and what you stand for.
Yes.
That'll also help your decisions. If you say
Exactly.
no, you know that you don't want this.
And you
And
stick to
nothing
your
can-
guns.
Yes.
Assertiveness.
Yes,
Yes,
stick to
yes,
your
yes,
guns. Don't be swayed.
And also not being afraid. I'm sorry
it's
to
okay.
cut you off, but not being afraid to be by yourself, because we're often under this idea that no, we have to have friends, we have to have people that we hang out with. It's okay to be alone. It's really not like a big deal if at break time you're chilling by yourself, having lunch by yourself. If these people don't resonate with who you are, stay away.
Exactly.
It's actually kind of great to sit by yourself.
Enjoying your
You
own
find peace
company.
of mind.
Not
You get
draining.
to think about whatever you get to think of.
Enjoying your own
Exactly.
company is so amazing. I mean, I even do solo dates. I will take
Exactly.
myself
Yeah.
out and I'll go to a restaurant and I'll sit by myself and I'll eat by myself and I'll go journal and whatever.
Write
and
your
it has
poetry.
really helped me.
This goes back to pouring into yourself.
It has really
It
helped
goes
me.
back to that.
So it is so important that you are comfortable with being alone and that
Definitely.
you love yourself so much. It will help you with your relationships and it will help you with your
Navigating
standards.
relationships.
Because
Definitely.
I do. If you cannot bring what I have already in my life, leave. I don't want you.
Exactly.
I already have peace. I already have positive self-talk. I talk about myself so positively. So if you're gonna come here and
do
talk
anything
negatively,
less than that,
and
exactly.
you anything
You're
less, leave.
You're out.
And it has helped me so much because now I'm not forced to hang out with people because I'm okay with being by myself.
Definitely.
I have a question. How do you know that you're being peer pressured into a relationship?
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a tough one. But I think if your friends are constantly making fun of you for not being in a relationship, if your friends are constantly making you feel that you are lacking something, if you're not in a relationship, it's weird for you not to be in a relationship because it's such a norm. That I definitely think is a pointer that you're being pressured into a relationship.
I feel like the point you mentioned, Destiny, knowing yourself. I feel like when you're doing something that you know is out of character, there's a tugging in your heart. You feel uncomfortable. And even with whether it's romantic relationships or platonic relationships, if that person is doing things that are outside of your principles and cause you to downgrade your standards or walk outside of your principles and you still feel like you have to stay, that is pressure.
Even though you don't want to.
Yes. So you know what you want. I feel like we always know what we want and who we are.
But we compromise.
Yeah. So I feel like the moment there's good compromise and there's bad compromise. So the moment where I have to compromise my standards, whether it's for a friend, even if it's family, leave.
Yes.
I will cut any ties off with anyone who brings any sort of destruction into my life.
Definitely.
And it can only help you. Be your peace and I always say to my little cousins, your life is your playground.
Yes.
And you have your swings and you paint them how beautifully you want. And you have spent so much time painting your little playground. Now you are careful who you let into your playground.
Yes.
If they cannot respect your rules, if they cannot respect
Your
how
craft.
your craft, they should leave with immediate effect. You don't
Definitely.
change.
I
The
love
playground
that
doesn't change for the
analogy.
kid. You
Circling
understand?
back
It's a
to what
beautiful analogy.
Komota said about people normalizing being in a relationship. What is considered normal? I think we should all have our own definition of normal.
Yes. Because we're all different.
It shouldn't
we're all
be
unique.
one standard idea that, this is normal. Kumoto, you should have an idea of what's normal to you.
Definitely.
I should have what's normal to me as well as you. So that can also tackle the whole concept of peer pressure.
Exactly.
If you understand what is normal to you.
So if it's normal for you to be in a relationship, then that's your norm.
That's your norm.
And if you feel that I actually don't want to be in a relationship, don't let what everyone else says to you about it influence whether or not you get into a relationship. If you feel that, oh, I like this person enough that I would like to get to know them better, then sure,
Yeah.
that's when you do it.
I feel like we're all running our own race. We're all gonna get to different milestones at different times. So, if I meet, I know people who've, like Miss Nook, our Afrikaans teacher, she met her husband in grade 8. And that was her norm. And
Yes.
they had a very respectful relationship, and he poured into her, and it helped them grow. And now they have such a strong and lasting relationship.
Exactly.
And there are some people who are going to meet their husbands when they're 30.
Exactly.
And some who are not going to meet their husbands at
At
all.
all.
Remember, all
So-
our journeys are different.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're not
So
all going to
run your
achieve
own
the
race.
same thing at the same time. And we're definitely not going to all achieve the same thing.
Exactly. So I feel like we need to learn to run your own race, set your standards, and see where you want to be in life, and run for that. I don't care what Komoto's doing. I don't care what Destiny's doing. But however, we also need to allow ourselves to be happy for our friends.
Yes.
I mean, if Komoto, your DJing career is so awesome. As much
Right,
as
thank you.
as much as, it is so easy to feel jealous. Oh my gosh, Komoto is doing this, Komoto is doing that. But it should be, this is her moment, this is where she's at. And then I'm going to get to my own place at whenever I get there. So keep pushing your own race, and it's never a problem to stop and clap for your friend.
Yes.
Never a problem.
Definitely. Oh, love that. Love that. Love that.
So from my side, eventually all things fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moments, and know everything happens for a reason. Now back to these three lovely ladies, and I'm going to ask each of you just to, again, give your name, and then from your heart, your message of hope to our listeners.
Okay. Hi once again to all the listeners. I am Komoto Angela Mokgotsi, aka DJ Peaches, and this message goes out to all my fellow matriculants. Keep going. You've got this. As much as it's been one hell of a ride, you got this. You made it this far, and you're very much strong enough to go on. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tiamiso Destiny Mpatlele, and my message for hope is that hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So keep going. You might not know what's coming, but just have hope that everything will be fine.
Life is crazy. So enjoy the ride and do the best that you can. And no matter how old you may believe you are, or how far gone you believe you are, you still have a chance to chase your dreams and to be the person you were meant to be. So I want to tell you to arise and shine, because you were born for times such as this. This is Kiki Khadima.
Time now, 4 minutes past 11. Radio High Five Stereo, still from Pro Arte in Alphenpark, and we're having a lot of fun. Now I've got a young gentleman on my left-hand side, and I want him to introduce himself. Good morning.
Morning, Chris. Thanks for this amazing opportunity. I'm Darren Bell. I'm one of the sales guys at the awesome team at CMH Ford in Hatfield. Looking forward to this opportunity.
That's great, Darren. Welcome, and thank you. Yeah, I thought it's difficult sometimes for people to introduce themselves when it comes to the radio, but you did quite well. I put you on the hot spot there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of something there in my throat that I can't get rid of.
Darren, I want to ask you, CMH, Kempster, Ford and Hatfield, what makes you different than the normal standard dealership?
So, believe it or not, we actually believe in our customers, and we strive in reputable relationships and retention. So, what that all entails is basically looking after the customer that comes into our shop, whether it's be for a cup of coffee, dropping his car for a service, or simply just kicking our tires that everyone would know. But what we do is there's a whole bunch of community projects that we do. Once a month, we run one big festival at our shop where we do balloons and bras and get the community there. We have a mobile fleet servicing vehicle that can physically service a vehicle at your place of home or at your workplace. So we're not just all about price and selling cars and getting them out of the shop doors. We actually really take our community and our clients very, very seriously.
Darren, and doing a community project, like, well, even today, this is a community project,
100%.
visiting a school. Why do you do that?
Look, again, obviously, you have to believe that we want to get our names out there as well. And what way better than doing it with the kids and the youth of today that will one day grow and, you know, maybe be a salesperson as like us, or a dealer principal, or sales is very, very vast, and you're always selling. Yeah, I'd like, you know, it'd be great to have this opportunity, and we'd want to do it more. Yeah.
I love it. And if I want to bring my vehicle in for a for evaluation, firstly, does it cost me money? And secondly, do I then have to do a deal with you, or do you do it free of charge? And
It's quite simple. It is free of charge. We spoil you more than you will be spoiling us. So we would obviously be doing an evaluation for you, and there are often cookies and coffee in our lounge that the guys can sit at comfortably and look around at the cars that they may be interested in.
that's amazing. And you guys, do you have new cars and second-hand or used vehicles, or is it just new vehicles?
No, we have both new and used car floor. Our used car floor has a vast range of vehicles, from well-priced to expensive, from Ford to Suzuki. So his floor is really, really full, yeah.
That's amazing. And then entry-level vehicle, what would your advice be for, we working with students today, learners, and they in the market maybe for a vehicle? What's a nice entry-level vehicle for a student?
Yeah, it goes without saying, right now would be a Suzuki Swift. That is an all-round great vehicle, light and feel. That is definitely something that I would point in the direction for any student.
Okay, if I do come in and I'm interested in a vehicle, what do I need to bring along? What do I need?
Cash money. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, it depends on exactly how you would go about purchasing. But yeah, normally your ID, your driver's license, a proof of address, and then obviously if you are applying for finance, it's simply just your banking details and pay slips as well.
Can you help us, you said a student, can you help a potential customer with finance?
Yeah, 100%. We thrive on that. So we do banking through financing through all banks. We do have special preferential rates with Absa Bank, which is known as Ford Credit. And there are many, many, many opportunities for clients, and however they want to structure their finance for their cars, we can do with Ford Credit, yes.
Am I understanding correctly if you're saying that you do in-house financing? So I come to your dealership and you do the finance right there. I don't have to go to the bank, come back, go back to the bank, but up and down.
Not at all. Within half an hour, we'll be able to give you an answer and tell you that you've been approved for your car, and we can start prepping the vehicle for you, and you can be out within a couple of hours.
Unbelievable. And stock availability?
Not an issue with Ford Kempster Ford. We are one of the flagship stores for Ford South Africa. So we have that privilege that we have too much stock. So yeah, stock is not an issue at our dealer.
Okay, talking about flagship, do you sell boats as well? What is the...
No, unfortunately not. Being flagship, Ford South Africa recognize Ford Hatfield as one of their reputable dealers. We often have international visitors from Ford in America, and our big bosses sit there as well. So we are always under the pressure to look after the people that come in our doors.
That's amazing. That's CMH Kempster Ford Hatfield. And that's in Duncan Street.
No, it's in the corner of Jan Schober and
Jan
Park
Schober.
Street. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, and your hours, when are you open for business?
So we are open, our workshop opens from 7 o'clock, sales opens from 8 o'clock, but the shop is more often than not open from 7 to 6 every day.
Wow, so somebody can rush there quickly after 5, after work and things like that. And Saturdays, you open on Saturdays?
Yes, from 8 till 1 o'clock, sir.
Okay, what is the possibility of taking a vehicle for a test drive? Let's say I've been driving another model all the years and I want to change over to Ford, but I'd like to know, what does this car actually go like? Do you Do you take people out on test drives?
Yeah, as well. You don't have to. We do encourage that you arrange beforehand, but I know that's not possible often. But so people can come in at any time and test drive any of our vehicles that we currently have on our floor.
That's amazing. Contact details, where can people get a hold of you?
So we're on just about every social media platform. We are on Facebook. We are our telephone number has been mentioned, but it's 012-423-4300. We're on the corner of Jan Schober and Park Street. And look at us up on Facebook. We have all of our specials running there. All the community work that we do is all online for you guys to have a look at.
I love that. That's CMH Kempster Ford in Hatfield. That's in Pretoria. And Darren, thanks ever so much for your time and for sharing your knowledge about your vehicles as well. Are you a Ford man yourself?
I am. My parents was from Ford. I've been with Ford. So yeah, Ford is my brand.
That's the way to go. Now, Darren, before I let you go, from your side, a message of hope for our listeners, please.
It's a one-liner. Seize the moment and let the moment echo forever.
Oh, I love that. Seize the moment and let the moment echo forever.
Correct, yeah.
That's a new one. I'm going to use that. Do you mind?
No, you can do.
Radio then. That's Darren there, and he's one of the sales executives of CMH Kempster Ford. Darren, thanks ever so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.